Welcome. In this tutorial, we are going to learn about warning. A warning message is issued when a program is behaving abnormally but not at the level of raising an exception. For example, running a deprecated module, we want to print message to standard error saying that you are running deprecated module, but we don't want to break the execution sequence by raising an exception. So in that case, we can use warning message, which will by default print the given message to the standard error, but it can also be configured to either ignore it or we can turn that given warning message into the exception. So let's visit the first warning class hierarchy. So earlier we saw the exception class hierarchy. Here warning is the subclass of the exception, which means we can handle it programmatically. Any of the warning which is turned into the exception, it can also be handled using try and except block. So first warning is user warning. It is a base class for the warning generated by the user code. So we can create subclass of the user warning in order to customize the warning message as per the application. Next is deprecation warning. It is a base class for the warning about the deprecated feature intended for the Python developer. Next is pending deprecation warning. It is a base class for the warning about features which are obsolete or expected to be deprecated in the future, but they are not deprecated at the present moment. Next is syntax warning. It is a base class for the warning about incorrect syntax. Next is runtime warning. It is a base class for the warning about unexpected runtime behavior. Next is import warning. It is a base class for the warning about probable mistakes in module imports. Next is Unicode warning. It is a base class for the warning related to the Unicode. Next is byte warning. It is a base class for the warning related to bytes and byte array. Next is resource warning. Base class for the warning related to the resource usage. Next is future warning. It is a base class for warning about deprecated features which are intended for the end users of application. So earlier we saw deprecation warning, which is intended for the Python developer, and feature warning is intended for the end user of the application. So let's raise warning message. So warn function is imported from the warnings module. It has one mandatory argument, which is a message. It is a string which is by default redirected to the standard error, and it has three optional arguments. First one is the category, which take any of the subclasses of the warning class. As we saw in the hierarchy, it is a subclass for which the warning message is issued. Next is the stack level. So at which stack level we want to print the message. Next one is the source. If it is given, it is the destroyed object emitted the resource warning. So let's take a look at the example. Here auth client.py has imported the user authentication module, which has one function which authenticates the user, and it raises the warning about deprecation protocol. It is raising the warning of the user warning class. Okay, and when the warning is printed, it is printed at the stack level 2, which means it will print the stack trace of the caller of this function, not the function's line. So at the stack level 1, it will print the line 5 of the user auth module. But if it is set to stack level 2, it will be printed from wherever it is called. So in that case, it is called from the auth client.py file. So it will print the location of this line and this module. So we'll run it, and as you can see here, it is raising warning of class user warning. This is the message, and because we have set the stack level to 2, it is pointing to the caller of the function, which is in this case auth client.py module at line number 3. and here we can see this is the message and code of line which generated the warning. Because it is set at stack level 2, it is printing this line which is raising warning message. Next topic is warning filter. So we can configure the filter in order to either ignore the warning, or we want to print the certain warning, or we can turn the certain warning into the exception. So for that, this is the format. First, we must specify the action. So what are the actions? First one is the default action, which prints the first occurrence of a matching warning for each location. So here this is the warning location. So this is the first warning. This function can be called from the multiple sources. So if it is given as a stack level 1 and by default the action is default, it will only print one time first call of the function. So if it is called repeatedly, it will not print the warning message for subsequent calls. Next action is error, which turns the warning into the exception. Ignore. It does not print the given warning message to the standard error by default. Next is always. It always print the matching warning. So in that case, even if it is repeatedly call from the multiple sources, it gets printed each time this function is getting called. Next is module. It prints the first occurrences of a matching warning message for each module. So it prints the module specific warning for only first occurrences. Once it prints the first occurrences of a matching warnings regardless of their location. So if you are using a user warning with this message and same warning message is raised from multiple location, it will only print the first location of the warning message. Now let's see how to run it. So here, as you can see, Python, afterward dash and W, and we can specify the warning filter in this format. So first we are only providing action. So all the parameters are optional. So we can only specify the parameters which are required. So here we can only provide single parameter also. So if we want to specify only action, we can also ignore rest of it. And if we want to ignore the parameters in between, we can progress to the next by providing only colon. So for example, if we write Python dash W error, which means it will take action as in converting the given warning into the error. Here we haven't specified the category. So by default it takes user warning as a category. So the user warning class and its all subclasses will be converted into the error. So now let's see the same behavior by executing the program. So here we will consider this file warning error.py. We will execute with the different configuration. Inside it, as we can see, it is raising warning message with warning. Here we are not supplying any category, which will be by default as a user warning, and afterwards we are printing the message in case warning is converted into the exception. So here we are not handling exception, which will not print the message here. So let's execute it. First we will change present working directory to where the program is stored. Now let's execute with the default action. So what default action will do, it will print the warning message for the first time only. So here, as we can see, it is printing warning message and print statement after the warning is executed. Next is error. So this will convert the given warning, which is by default user warning, because we haven't provided category here. So it will convert user warning and its subclasses into the exception. So if we execute it, here we can see the traceback, which means it is converted into the exception. And if we see it, the print statement after the warning message is not executed because this exception is not handled. And next one is ignore, which will not print any message for the warning. As we can see, it is only printing the message from the print statement and warning message is ignored. Now same can be achieved using environment variable Python warning. So if we can export Python warning environment variable with the any of the actions here, and if we run it, it will produce the same result. So here, if we configure it to the error, it is raising error. If we configure it to be default, which will print the warning message for the user warning. And if it is configured to ignore it, it will not print any of the messages. So same environment variable can also be configured using OS modules os.environment. Now next parameter of the warning filter format is message. So message is a string containing regular expression for matching the warning message, and that match is performed in case insensitive manner. So this can also match using the message which is written as a warning function. Next is category. We know here we are providing the base class for which or all the subclass of it is. So for that category, the given warning filter is configured. Next is module. It is a string containing regular expression that module must match. So for that regular expression, all the matching module will be configured for that warning filter. Next is the line number, integer indicating the line number at which warning is raised. Now we will see what is the default warning filter configuration for the Python. So it has 3 plus 2, 5 filters. So first one is a default action for the deprecation warning if it is raised from the main. So all the deprecation warning from main is printed, and from all other module it will be ignored. Next is pending deprecation warning are ignored, import warning and resource warning are ignored. So by default all the other category will fall into the default, which will print the message. We can also configure filters. So here we can also specify warning filter for the particular category. So here we are converting the resource warning into the error. Next one is we are configuring multiple warning filter. So here first filter is specify. It is only defining action as an ignore, which will ignore the default category, which means user warning will get ignored, and it will take default action, which means printing first occurrences for the user warning, because here we are not providing any argument for the category, which is residing inside the auth module. So if we see the format of it, here we are specifying the regular expression for the module. So all the module which are matching with this expression will get default action for the user warning category. Same way we can here provide the regular expression for the sub module of it. So now let's jump into the example. Here multiple warning filter file contains this code. So first we will see the default behavior with the different categories of the warning. So here we have wrapped the warning function inside the try and except. So even if it is raising an exception, it will not break the flow of the program. And let's execute with the default configuration. If we run it and see the output of it, it is printing by default user warning. So we saw the default configuration for the user warning. So it will print the warning message. Since this is run from the main, deprecation warning is printed because currently we are running from this module and current module becomes the main module. If it is running from the other module, it will not get printed for the deprecation warning. And as we saw, resource warnings are by default ignored, so it is not printing any messages for the resource warning. So now let's print our custom configuration warning. So here we will configure error action for the resource warning, and it will ignore the deprecation warning which is raised from the main. First we will change the present working directory to the program, and if we execute it, this will configure multiple warning filter, and if we execute the same multiple warning filter file, as we can see here, first one is the user warning. So we haven't configured the user warning, which means it is a default action. It is printing the first occurrence of the warning, and for deprecation module, deprecation warning, we are ignoring even if it is raising from main, so no message gets printed for the deprecation warning. And for last, resource warning, we are converting into the error, so it is printing traceback for it. So this way we can configure the warning filters. Same way we can configure it programmatically using filter warnings function. So it takes similar arguments as we saw for the format. So action is the same, message, category, module, line number. Only new option is append. So if it is given true, entry is appended at the end of the list. So if we configure the multiple warning filters, it will match from the beginning up to end until it find the matching filter. If we are adding new filter using filter warnings, it will add the given entry to the front of the list. Most recently added filter gets matched first. So let's execute warning with configured filters. So here we are configuring two filters. First one is we are converting the resource warning into error, and we are ignoring the deprecation warning from the main. So same as we saw for the earlier configuration, same we are configuring with the filter warning function, and we are executing the same Python code. So if we run it, it will produce the same result. As we can see, it is printing user warning, it is ignoring deprecation warning, it is configured to, and converting the resource warning into the exception. So these are the multiple ways to configure the warnings filter. Now we will see creating custom warning class. So here we have created application specific warning, which is a subclass of the user warning. Same way it can be configured. So here we are configuring filter to take default action for the user warning and its all subclasses, which will include the zero division warning. So here we are raising that warning, which will get printed only once. So if we execute it, as we can see, it is printing the zero division warning with the given message, and the statement afterwards gets executed. So it is printing interchanging because both the message are printed on the different stream. This is from standard error and this is from std out, standard output. Next we will see the functions of the warning module. So first one is format warning, which returns the formatted string for the given warning. So it takes the similar arguments which will return the string instead of printing the warning message to the standard error or to the other streams. And here the line is a new parameter. It is a line of source code to be included in the warning. Earlier we saw the line at which it is raising warning, it gets printed. That line of code is printed. So here we can specify the line number. So that will be printed when the warning message is printed. So if it is not given, it will extract the line number from the given file name and the line number here. And if you want to print the custom line, we can provide that line here. Next is warn explicit. So it is a low level functionality for the warn function. So it takes more argument. So if you want to configure more things, we can use it. So it allows us to pass parameters explicitly, such as file name, line number, registry, and module globals. Next is show warning, which prints the warning message to the file. It takes file as a parameter. It is by default none, which will print the given warning message to the standard error, sys.std error. But if it is given as a file like object or any output stream, it will print the given warning message to that particular stream or the file object. And all the remaining parameters are the same. For line, if line is given explicitly, it will print that line of code. Otherwise, it will extract the line of code from the file name and the line number. So here, first we will see the default behavior of show warning, which will print the given message warning to the standard error. So here we have specified the warning of user warning category with the message. It is printed on the standard error. Now we will give the file as a file like object, which is a standard output stream. So it should redirect warning to the standard output. So as we can see, it is printing message in black, which is the standard output. Same way we can also redirect the warning message to the file like object. Here we are storing in a string IO. So same, if we store it inside the file and if we print the content of the file, it will contain this warning message, which is issued by the show warning function. Now next is show warning function can also be replaced with the any callable to customize the behavior. So earlier we saw the format warning function, which returns the formatted string for the given warning. So after retrieving the format warning, we can modify as per our requirement and we can return the custom message depending on our the business logic. So same custom defined function can be assigned to the show warning function of the warnings module, so which will behave as the customized code. Next is filter warning. It is same as we saw earlier. Now we will see it with the different example. Here we will see append argument. By default it is false, but if it is given as a true, it appends the given filter at the end of the list. We know by default it search the warning filter from the beginning of the list. So let's see the example. So here now we will filter the warnings depending on the message. So in message we are writing the package path of the warning, and here we have written the regular expression matching this pattern. So it will filter the warning depending on the regular expression written for the messages. And by default we are not specifying the category, which means we are adding the filter for the user warning and its subclass. So here we have raised different messages. So let's execute it and see the result. So here we are ignoring for the user auth module. So all the warning message with user auth module is ignored, and for app modules, so beginning with the app dot in the message, they are converted into the error. And so here we can see the traceback for the to user warning, which is having message beginning with the app and dot and following the any number of characters. So depending on the regular expression written inside the filter warning, it can match the warning message. Next function is simple filter. Inserts the simple entry into the list of warning filter specification. And it has same parameter as we saw for the filter warnings, but it simplifies the filter. So it has the same parameter, but it always matches any message in any module with the given category, and they are not matching the regular expression, so that must be exact. Here message is not part of the parameter list, so exact category is matched with the given action. Next is reset warning. So it will reset the warning filter which is set using filter warnings or the simple filters. All the filters will be removed, and also the filters which is configured with the command line also will get removed. Next is context manager for the warnings filter. Warnings module have catch warning function which creates the context. So when beginning of the context, it creates the copy of the original warning filters, and at the end of the context it restores the original warning filters. And in between we can add new warning filters, or we can remove the warning filter from the current list. It takes two optional arguments. First one is record. It is by default set to false, which returns none on the entry, and if it is given as a value true, it will return empty list, and it will get warning object which are raised by the show warning. And next one is the module. By default it is set to the none, but it can given any module name for which we want to preserve the context. So if we are executing other module and if we want to preserve the filters, warning filters for that particular module, we can give the module name here. So let's see the example. Here we are raising resource warning before and after the context. So this is the context. We know by default resource warnings are ignored, and inside the context we are adding warnings filter to convert resource warning into the error. So this warning inside the context manager will be converted into the resource warning exception, and here we are raising warning using show warning and with the record argument as a true. So this will return empty list, and this warning object will get added to this list. So we are printing list when exiting the context. So let's execute it. As we can see here, the resource warning which is raised from the inside of the context manager is converted into the exception here. And if we see the CW on the entry, it is returning empty list, and after raising show warning, it is showing warning object which is raised by the show warning. So the catch warning modifies the global state of application, which is not thread safe. So while using context and modifying that warnings filter, it can affect other threads too. So you need to keep that in mind. So that brings us to end of the video.